Hey boys and girls, we're working on number 6 on our review, and it says 2,700 written as a product of its prime factors is, and then it gives us 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. So we have two things that we have to do. First is to write 270 as a product of its prime factors. Now, I did see some of you today just take the number 270 and start your factor tree. That's definitely a strategy that you can use, but others of us, what I want you to do is to be able to look at the number 2,700, okay? And then you're going to compare it to 270. Well, I know that 270 is 10 times smaller than 2,700. So to go from one to the other, you have to divide by 10 to get to 270. So this divide by 10 is the big thing that we have to look at here. And so when we're looking at all of our prime factors that are listed up here, okay, you should be asking yourself, how could I take these numbers so that it's dividing the product by 10? Well, since multiplication and division go back and forth, and we should all know that 5 times 2 is 10. If you take 1 2 away and 1 5 away, then you really took 10 away. Okay? So then that means that the prime factors for 270 would be 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5. Now, you're more than welcome to check your work with this. I actually recommend that you check your work just to make sure that what we did is correct, and I'll do that with you. We have 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 times 5, which is 10, times 27 is 270. Okay, so that strategy worked and it was correct. So that's part 1. So I'm just going to rewrite this answer up here, okay? So it's going to be 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5. Now the next step says, now write 27,000 as a product of its prime factors. Well, if I'm going back and I'm looking at this again, to get from 2,700 to 27,000, I have to multiply by 10. So now I need to think to myself, what two numbers, or what are the prime factors of 10? Well, it would be the same as 2 times 5. So now I'm going to take these prime factors and I'm going to add it to this original group of numbers. So now I'm going to have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 5. And then that's my prime factors for 27,000. Keep up the good work.